Alright guys, Rich Amiri's humiliation kink knows no bounds. He just loves to embarrass himself, and in the latest segment of his embarrassing publicity, he's been getting clowned on for chickening out of a XXL freestyle. But here's the thing, of course he got hated on, and I'm going to get into that, but it also brought up a larger conversation about XXL as a whole from the one and only Lucki. So I'm gonna explain what happened with the whole Rich Amiri situation, what the reaction was, what his reaction was, and the whole Lucki part, which was very surprising, but honestly brought up a lot of good points. So let's get into it. Alright, so it began with people, just regular rap fans, by the way, from hip-hop being like, I wonder who ditched the XX cipher, because you gotta understand, at this point XXL is a tradition in hip-hop, you know? And I'm gonna read you what was written. This year was special because we had Southside as the DJ and beatmaker for the class. Okay, that's cool. He was excellent on set, his energy was terrific, and he really added a lot to the class. The shoot didn't go off without a hitch though. One freshman got so shook over the cipher that he ditched the shoot literally 5 minutes before it was going to be filmed. He pretended to go to his car for clothing, hopped in and got out of there. He and his team then refused to answer our publicist's phone calls. It would have been nice for them to return one call. I've never seen anything like that before. Some of you will probably laugh at what he did because you think he's popping anyway. So it ain't nothing. But I think it was a pathetic way to handle things, and it definitely caused some havoc and felt like a ruthless way to conduct business. So everyone was like, who is this rapper this youngster 5 minutes before the XXL freestyle was supposed to be filmed said, yo, I gotta go get some clothes, got in his car and rode off, which to like old heads is like, oh man, what a you know? Anyways, over the next few days, we had decided if we were going to remove that artist from the class altogether, which we were conflicted over, but we decided to keep him in, which I'm not gonna lie is a very respectable thing for XXL. You know, I feel like most media platforms would have been very petty, and I mean the response was petty, which I'll explain later, but cool on their side. We did receive an apology from the freshman's manager a few days later, but never heard from the artist directly, which is very unprofessional. Ultimately, we hate to see a freshman back out of a cipher because this is what they do for a living. They rap. There's no specific length the verse is supposed to be, but still, that's too hard for some of them. It feels like they should be able to get through a verse, but as the years go on, more and more artists struggle with this part of the freshman, and we don't find out they're capable of it or unwilling to do it until after they are asked to be a part of the class, which is disappointing. We don't rescind the offer though. Anyways, cuts off there. But let me just play you something or show you something. Immediately before they even announced it was Rich Amiri, or they never really announced it was Rich Amiri, I'll explain how it leaked. People started noticing, yo, there are a bunch of Rich Amiri song references. Now I'm not gonna lie, I don't really listen to Rich Amiri, so I didn't really get it other than the one call thing, which was enough for me. But it was actually multiple songs. So Rich Amiri has a song called Out of There, One Call, Poppin' with Lil Tecca, Ain't Nothing, Havoc, and Ruthless. So they intentionally used a bunch of his song names as like ammo, like hate on him. Anyways, everyone was like, I hope it's really Rich Amiri, blah blah blah. A lot of people also thought it was this guy named Huncho who they gave autotune in like the solo freestyle. So people were like, okay, he's been getting clowned on, maybe it was him, but I believe this all happened before. And people the way they like dissed Rich Amiri also reminded me and about like this video from like the before they were famous about Playboi Carti, which is like really corny, which I just thought was funny.
Carti is on top and has a lot of success right now, but he didn't wake up like this. It's been a long time coming. Before he would pull up in a foreign and put some mileage on his Lambo in the middle of the summer, he was a broke boy with his stummy hurting, looking for crumbs, hoping to one day flex in a new location. Playboi Carti went from working at H&M.
But anyways, the moment this came out, everyone was hating. Like someone said, he forgot his lines and panicked. TikTok rapper Richard Amiri apparently ditched the XXL freshman cipher because he was scared. So I mean, calling someone a TikTok rapper in and of itself is a derogatory, as well as saying he ditched it because he was scared, of course. Rich Amiri's trash ass couldn't freestyle. Someone said, purposely going on XXL to duck a cipher is wild. He thought he was gonna help his aura. I'm not gonna lie, if he knew he was gonna do that, that's very lame. Anyways, later on, he confirmed he was the one who ditched XXL. On Twitter, he said, I didn't pretend to go for no clothes, I just walked out. And before that, he said, at XXL while lying. And someone else made a video on this, Hello Yassine, who I think is fire. And I watched part of it. Actually, sorry, I watched the whole thing. And in part of it, he said, I hate when people who had a good upbringing speak like this. So, you know, a random comment. But basically said, yo, I just walked out, like I didn't have to lie, because you know him lying about going for clothes just makes him look like a I'm not gonna lie. And literally nobody bought it. Like this is the top comment by a long shot. He definitely pretended to go get some clothes. Richard Amiri can't freestyle, so he walked out. Even Fulcrum was hating on him. He said, I played Rich Amiri one call for my kid and he threw the craziest fit, wheeled at the loudest pitch possible. He was crying like the song was torture. That might traumatize him. And even in like the XXL, or I think this is XXL, they were already hating on Rich Amiri.
Timu says, that Rich Amiri boy sounds like Trippie Redd impersonating Future. I don't even gotta say nothing to that one. Your name is Timu.
But finally, I do want to say that, and this is what brought up the Lucki defense, because Lucki would go on to defend Rich Amiri, which is super random, but I'll explain that it might be a little self-centered later. But this did bring up the whole conversation that XXL's freestyles are a bit obsolete and they're just not up to par anymore, you know? Like, for example, someone said, nobody cares about XXL, bro, their time is done. Bro did what Lil Mosey should have done, probably because their beat selection's trash now. Actually, they had Southside, who's a legendary producer from Atlanta, do it, so not really. Bro said, I'd rather go viral this way rather than destroy his aura. Another person, Mwell, also brought up the conversation that artists have been denying XXL ciphers for years, so I don't know why this is a big deal. I feel like there were so many rappers that have done this. Like Gunna went on the magazine. He was in the photo shoot, but he didn't freestyle. I believe Baby Keem did the same, and there are many others that have done this as well. I totally think that if Rich Amiri chose to do this, he could do it. I think they kind of saved that spot for rappers who they're just a little bigger. Like Gunna has that swinging power. Baby Keem does. I don't know if Rich Amiri does. It's definitely a really good marketing stunt if that's what it is. You know, worked well. I just think it's a lame on doing that the XXL, of course. But overall, I will say it was a really smart move because it was a lose-lose situation. You know, think about it. You could either go on XXL and be clowned for your freestyle, which, knowing Rich Amiri, if he had a bad freestyle, oh my god, it would be bad. I mean, not as bad as having pictures of you getting tickle leak or you faking your name or faking your streams or faking your accent. Those are like some of the other bad, like, or negative moments of Rich Amiri I remember, but it would definitely be bad, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's get into the Lucki defense because it's very, very, very interesting. So I'm just gonna play the audio and we'll go over it after, all right? So let me play it.
Hey, I'm about to delete this because it's not my business, but look, hey, the fact XXL could get mad that somebody don't want to do that freestyle, that they just like that aware, like, oh yeah, this not gonna go out like the best way for me. Like, bro, it's 2024. The fact they still got the format the same as it was in like 2013, that's how you know they like XXL kind of in it just for like the engagement part now. You know what I'm saying? Because they know like the freestyle is gonna be the most viral part. Like, it's 2024 and don't even record music the same way. Don't even consume music the same way they was in 2013. So the fact that you make like these young artists go up there and like freestyle and then gotta have a freestyle on any beat to something that they don't got already, because nobody even do that in the first place. Like, it's not no young here from Queens gonna pop up. Like, it's no lyrical geniuses, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is, but people don't even care about the lyrics. Like, so the fact that they still got them doing that is you obviously setting them up for failure. Like, it's 2024. If they want people to care about the freshman list, they gonna change the freshman list to get like in times with the times.
So you said a lot for us to unpack there. Before I talk about it, I do want to give a little context. So apparently, you know, a lot of people are very surprised, like, why is he defending Rich Amiri? Because he knows this is about Rich Amiri, and he also knows that people don't like Rich Amiri, so and I don't think he's like a big fan of him either. Well, it turns out that back in 2019, Lucki walked out on a XXL interview because they tried to make him freestyle. So apparently he has like some hidden, you know, disdain for them. But here's what he said. He basically said, hey, how can you expect these young rappers to be freestyling and writing, you know, people don't care about lyrics anymore. They care about, you know, the sound. I think this is like a bad point, to be honest, and I think it also is more evidence that Lucki is biased, and I'll explain why. Number one, Lucki writes all his music. So if XXL really did come up to him in 2019 and asked him to freestyle and they kind of like pressed him, he probably just didn't feel confident enough to do that because he never freestyles. Everything is written by Lucki. I don't know if you know this. He's been making music for a long time. He's inspired by Chance the Rapper, so he writes everything. So the other thing as well, he said, there are no lyrical geniuses. There are definitely some lyrical geniuses, just not in the same way old school heads would think, you know. There's some crazy bars, you know, that people can say. I do think that this new style style of rapping is harder for people to freestyle, you know what I mean? But it still can be done. And I do think that all these rappers are freestyling. Like technically, like Osama-san is just punching in. Like Rich Amiri is probably just punching in. Another thing he said as well is that like XXL only cares about engagement and like they shouldn't be doing this. I feel like in 2016 we saw perfectly that, you know, it didn't have to be about lyrics, but it was just the sound, it was the vibe, it was the energy, and it was just the people being in the room together. And I think that's what makes XXL so special, and I think he kind of like missed the mark with it. However, the conversation that sparked it was very split. You know, some people totally agreed with Lucki and some people were like, nah, you're tripping. And I feel like what's interesting to me about the reaction is both the younger generation and the older generation were split. So like some people who are older were like, nah, you should be able to write for sure, and other people actually agreed. And a lot of people like my age were like, yeah, XXL's trash, it's over with. But they were also like, yo, low-key, nah, like you should be able to freestyle. And, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of XXL, I don't know if you watched my other video on them, but I do think that, come on, like you should at least be able to freestyle. So anyways, here's some of the reactions. So someone said, so rappers in 2024 are untalented and can't come up with 10 to 12 bars for a freestyle. Rap skills and talents fell off. Man, I mean, I agree too. You know, you could just write a little thing and just have it on, rap it on beat. Another person said, LMAO tune is correct, but this is more so an issue on Amiri not being professional in his deck by declining to do it. He didn't decline to do it, he chickened out, right? He should have just told them in advance he wasn't feeling it rather than pull up, have them expect him to do it, and bail like a kid 5 minutes before start. He also said XXL goes more viral when the freestyle's trash, so I see what he means by setting up for failure. Really no winning that. I mean, I do somewhat agree. I remember back when X had his freestyle, they intentionally made it like, they intentionally picked the weirder parts so it would go viral. But you know, that's what every social media like page, you know, Instagram page, YouTube page, Twitter page, everyone does. You know, TikTok, they all just incentivize for more views and clicks, right? Anyways, this producer named Popstar Benny replied and said, it's not XXL fault, folks. Don't take their craft seriously. Like, even if you're not a freestyler, someone don't have to have one single good unused verse they can't say. Like, they can just write for it. They literally just gotta rap for 40 seconds and it's the next person's turn, LMAO. Y'all quoting this, trying to debate that expecting professional rappers to rap only 30 to 50 seconds on a cypher to showcase how good they can rap their chosen career is asking too much. Are y'all serious? A cool 16 bars, maybe 24. And I'm not gonna lie, everyone was agreeing. Like, a lot of people don't have the talent for this, they don't agree with this, they don't really love this, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty spot on. You know, if you're doing this as a career, you should be able to at least say something, you know. I don't think anybody's expecting like you to go all Eminem or something, you know what I mean? Like, or J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar, but just, you know, do something fun. And there definitely are some rappers who can freestyle. Lucki would then respond again and say, I guess I'm gonna die on this hill, but I'm not wrong, y'all. This is literally the rap version of the best players in the NBA not doing the dunk contest anymore. It's just a different game. So I do kind of like get what he's saying. And then Rich Amiri, by the way, said, you ain't never lied. I completely agree that lyrics are totally irrelevant to a rapper's success. They don't really matter. They're more so just the cherry on top, where before they were the core of, you know, any hip hop record or song, right? But I think that like just not being able to freestyle, it's kind of like, you know, when Juice WRLD would freestyle and everyone would be like, yo, that was so fire. Like that was one of the things that made him so legendary, his ability to freestyle. I feel like people will always respect someone who can freestyle and rap. You know what I mean? I feel like the other thing about rap and just hip hop as a culture is, you know, people like, come on, like being scared to freestyle is just a bad look. You know what I mean? It's just a bad look. It's not about like, I feel like they changed it to a different subject. And speaking of changing it to a different subject, I think I forgot to bring up what Rich Amiri said after the whole situation. So basically, he took to his Instagram story and said, the world is literally in our hands. We have the free will to do whatever we want. These folks don't own us and they hate that. And then my friend Teo said, imagine being a rapper that's too scary to freestyle. So instead, you go on Instagram and try to make a philosophical statement about having free will. I'm not gonna lie, it nails it on the head perfectly, you know? The whole thing about this is that he was too scared to freestyle, so I just want to like make it clear, like, yeah, it's a really bad look that you just didn't freestyle, you know what I mean? But when we're talking about the whole lyrics thing, you know, it all depends too, you know, like the street rappers who are in that XXL list, or just the more traditional rappers too, I'll say, like their lyrics matter a bit more. I don't think people would judge Rich Amiri by you know, his lyricism. I think they would just judge it whether it was just off their ear, like, yo, does this sound good, is this good, you know what I mean? Of course, like, if you do like a Lil Mosey ass freestyle where like the lyrics are bad even for a SoundCloud rapper, or like, you know, a rapper in that lane, they're gonna clown you, but that's kind of deserved, right? Also, like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna make it like, oh, now you like pre-make the song? That would kind of ruin the fun a little bit. I feel like that's the whole... Anyways, Lucki would then say more. He said, Lil Wayne and Jay-Z kind of the blame for our generation being confused on what's actually freestyling and writing. By the way, they didn't even do it on purpose though. They're literally the two best rappers ever. So yeah, basically accidentally misled every rapper from our generation to thinking taking your time in writing is a flaw. So Lucki writes, so he's very biased, but I don't know, I feel like he's basically saying that Lil Wayne freestyles everything. He's like notorious for that, you know. Young Thug, of course, Future, Chief Keef, Cardi, Uzi, all those types of rappers. By the way, Lil Wayne is in a different class. He's like the GOAT, right? Jay-Z, I believe, like does all his music in like one take, and he just has ideas in his head. And I think I think he had some stuff written, of course. He's old school, but he's just saying like, yo, just because all these people freestyle doesn't mean like writing is bad. I don't think it was a writing lyricism thing, but you know, I'm gonna keep going. Anyway, someone said people were spitting rims and calling it a freestyle way before the flow. Stop making excuses. I believe Drake did this on a freestyle once. I know, I promise, but look, to be honest, I'm not a new rapper. I actually came out from that era. I'm just one of the only guys who could adjust and cross over. So I seem to be new to some of y'all. Lol, I just think it's not fair to hold this melody loving ass generation, not a bad thing, to some standards as ... Then that is cool, but like, you gotta think about it. I feel like just because the lyrics don't matter doesn't mean you can't freestyle. Because think about it, if the lyrics suck and it's all about the melody, then it's gonna be judged by the melody, you know what I mean? Like, and if the freestyle sucks, the freestyle just sucks. I don't think freestyling is ever gonna go out of style, like, unless AI just starts making all the music. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Rich Amiri just put out a freestyle and the lyrics weren't great, but it sounded good, people would be cool with it, you know? And then he said, I remember when our favorite rappers used to go to the radio and freestyle, blah, blah, blah. What if I told you I don't know how to freestyle? I know how I write the first thing that come to my head back to back, but if it's on my phone, paper and pen, I'm unable to rap. I swear to God, broski. So he's basically saying, yo, am I a bad rapper? I can't freestyle, and you know, it goes on and on and on and all that, and he even said like, yo, maybe we create a new genre. I think it's just what hip-hop is becoming, but I think we should end this whole Lucki debate here. I think I've spoken on enough. But anyways, you know, you guys know me, I love to hate, so getting to hate on Rich Amiri and XXL, that's a dream come true. Like, Christmas coming early. At this point, cancel my birthday. I'm just joking, of course. I actually don't have any ill will against Rich Amiri. I just wanted to say that. I think he's a peculiar dude. And I'm saying that because I noticed he has me blocked on Instagram. That's why I couldn't view the stories of responding to the XXL shit. And, you know, I'm actually really confused why he acted in this way. All I did was make a video on, like, every single one of his negative moments for my own gain on YouTube and laughed at him. But in all seriousness, I like being fair, you know, and I think this was a big moment for Rich Amiri, because friends of mine that aren't even, like, tapped in whatsoever, like this scene, were like, yo, you know that kid Rich Amiri? Did you see him walk out of a XXL freestyle? And they were like so flabbergasted by that, because like for regular hip-hop fans, that's like a piece of news that he'd be like, what, you know? I just imagine some like old head reading that like a newspaper, like rapper Rich Amiri walks out of double. I don't know. So I think Rich Amiri actually got put in a different light, which is good, you know? Another thing I would like to make is a prediction for how his career will go. I see it going one of two ways, and one of the ways is a way that every rapper's career can go. I think he could fall off, which I'm not gonna lie, there's a strong chance this happens right now, because he's at the level where you either sell or you get shelved. He's not really underground, so he's got to actually perform, and his recent songs just aren't doing that. I think he really dug himself into a deep hole with the whole Future blown. Or he'll continue to have success like he had with One Call, which will be very hard. But if so, I could see him having like a Dom Corleo-ish fan base, much bigger of course because of his size, and completely eclipse his underground persona and reputation, which is kind of bad. Similar to Dom Corleo and what he's done now, you know, just chilling in his own lane, doing his thing. And if we're being honest, that reputation doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and that's what this whole thing kind of shows. I do think Rich Amiri as a whole gotta like really, I don't understand, like, is the whole negative publicity thing like a method for him? Does he think it's gonna, you know what I mean? Because I don't really think, like, how does this help your music really? Does this help you sell tickets to tours? Does this help make people want to stream your music? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I truly think that he just acted in this way and it just made him look, you know, horny as usual. But anyways, thanks for watching. Shout out my favorite rapper, Rich Amiri. I really don't hate him, by the way. I know some of you guys are gonna comment and be like, blah 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 blah, like cool. Seems like a cool dude. But anyways, thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and see you tomorrow.